Once upon a time, in a lively rainforest, lived a clever parrot named Polly. Polly was special because he could mimic sounds and even words that humans said. But have you ever wondered how parrots like Polly learn to talk? Polly wanted to find out too. One sunny morning, he decided to visit Mrs. Wise, the old and knowledgeable owl who lived in the highest tree of the forest. Mrs. Wise knew everything about the animal kingdom. Polly flapped his wings and landed gently in front of Mrs. Wise's cozy nest. "Good morning, Mrs. Wise," Polly greeted cheerfully. "I have a question. How do we parrots learn to talk?" Mrs. Wise adjusted her glasses and gave Polly a warm smile. "Ah, Polly, that's a wonderful question," she hooted softly. "You see, parrots have a special part in our brains called the song system. It's made up of different areas that help us listen, remember, and reproduce sounds. But learning to talk also needs practice and patience." Polly listened intently. "So, it starts with listening?" "Exactly," Mrs. Wise nodded. "First, you listen carefully to the sounds around you. For example, you might hear humans talking or singing. Then, your song system helps you remember those sounds. That's why you can repeat them later." Polly's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "And what happens next?" he asked. "After you remember the sounds," Mrs. Wise continued, "you practice making them. This takes time and repetition. Parrots like you often practice sounds again and again until they get it right. Sometimes, young parrots learn from their parents or other parrots, just like how children learn from their families." Polly fluffed his feathers proudly. "So that's why I heard baby parrots chirping the same sounds over and over." "Yes," Mrs. Wise agreed. "And don't forget, it's important to get feedback. When you practice, humans or other parrots respond to your attempts, and that helps you improve." Polly felt a sense of accomplishment. He had learned something new about himself and his fellow parrots. "Thank you, Mrs. Wise. Now I know that learning to talk is all about listening, remembering, practicing, and getting feedback." Mrs. Wise nodded wisely. "Indeed, Polly. And with dedication, you can master many sounds and make your own special melodies." Polly thanked Mrs. Wise and flew back to his favorite perch, eager to practice his new words. As he soared through the rainforest, he realized that learning was a lifelong adventure, full of exciting discoveries and wonderful sounds.